Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of anywhere else on any other channels? And that's because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They don't even read any of the other comments. They say this all the time. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Things First, talking about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. As everyone knows at this point, right? Nick Wright is Chiefs fan, number one fan, whatever. You can even see he's like in a throne. So obviously I just want to hear what he has to say, and get into it in that regard. This will definitely be a fun show. I think the one thing that I haven't watched this clip, and the first thing that I see is obviously him on the throne making this big deal and all this. I think the big thing is, and this is what a lot of people have said to me in the comments, is that Nick Wright makes the Chiefs so difficult to cheer for. And I can see that, like people want to root against the Chiefs. A lot of them maybe just because of Nick Wright in a lot of ways. Because look how he's sitting on the throne and celebrating like he won, right? Like he did something and he did nothing. And I think that's probably, what also is some of the issues. Like he's taking responsibility for something that he had zero responsibility for. So, that just is what it is. But I'm definitely curious to see how he unpacks this. I know he's going to obviously paint the Chiefs as, perfection and all of this. And so I'm really curious to see if we get any actual honest analysis of that game and how it unfolded and kind of what Bruce says. And so let's just jump right into it.
Finale of Never a Doubt year.
Yeah.
It's First Things First. You're in for a treat.
Sure is.
Today, the season finale. After the game, Mahomes tweeted, just one tweet, I believe.
Yeah.
Never a doubt. Turns out, you got that tattooed on your arm this summer. A fitting conclusion to the year. And also, classic category 2.
Classic two,
bro.
Maybe of the highest form.
Classic 2. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a doubt?
I mean, how could there have been? Ask Patrick, the greatest current living athlete.
Wow.
Ask Andy, the greatest active head coach. Ask Brett Veach, the GM and friend of the show,
Travis Kelce,
an emeritus member of the committee who pulled off what I think will be looked back on as the modern-day Herschel Walker trade. In trading Tyreek Hill to get Trent McDuffie, to get the extra pick so they could draft Isaiah Pacheco, and then win back-to-back Super Bowls. And let's talk about that historically great defense, because today everyone's going to give Patrick his flowers, and I will as well. But that defense that snuck up on people despite being consistently great on a level we've literally only seen a few times in NFL history. Never did a team, show the graphic if we could please, score 28 points. So they now join those teams to where they did it every single game of the year. The Chiefs did it 2 more games because the extra game in the season and they didn't have the bye. But those are the only teams in the Super Bowl era to never allow 28 in a game. What about never allow 25 points, or only allow it once, pardon me? The Chiefs top that list and join those teams. Even with the extra game, they are still clear of the field. So that's the defense that was built through the draft, thanks to the savvy, gutsy Tyreek Hill trade that now Tyreek Hill seems to be the one that regrets a bit, as he is awful nostalgic for days in Kansas City. And then there's Patrick Mahomes, who doesn't start Super Bowls until he's down 10 points. Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowls down double digits. Can we show you him, Brady, and then the rest of the world? He's 3-1. Brady's 2-1. Everyone else in NFL history is 2-47.
Pretty good.
What about, and it's not just Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes, since this dynasty started, the last 5 years, he and the Chiefs are 5-1 down double digits in the playoffs. Everyone else is 6-48. All this team needed to turn into a juggernaut that beat clearly the hardest path possible, Brew, the 3 other best AFC teams and the best NFC team, when you have that defense and that quarterback was a little practice. And I tried to tell you all year, all they needed was some practice. So if we may please, drop the first of I Promise mini banners, because practice does in fact make perfect. And I think balloons dropping on your head once again, Brew. Right on you. So yeah, all they needed was a little practice, my friend.
I like that they don't totally
they're gonna be coming for a while. But go ahead.
Again, just like last week.
Well, okay. I'm trying to figure out how best to go about this. You know what? Let's see what Brew has to say, and then I'll interject.
2 weeks ago, I wasn't sure when you're done. First, I got to say this. So my wife and I, to watch the Super Bowl, we had a few couples over, right?
Nice.
And most of them were Chiefs fans. So one couple even had his and her Mahomes and Kelce jerseys on.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
So after McCole Hardman, this is ironic. This is why I had to say it. After McCole Hardman's game-winning catch, they said to me, "We came into your house. We even wore Chiefs jerseys.
Yeah.
We ate your food. We talked trash in your house." They did everything but put their feet up on my.
Great job by them.
Yeah,
Great job by that couple.
It was tough to handle after I had fed them. All right, you talked that all year. But look, Nick, I can't help but give you credit for you stuck with your team all year. However, you know I'm a journalist. I was a reporter for decades.
You were grinding the all 22 for weeks,
sleeping in the pajamas, underoos. And I have a source who watched the game with you. All right.
Well, that's either my wife, my daughter, or Coach Mangini. There's only 3 people possible.
I'm not saying which one. But I think there were some doubts.
Oh.
I think the first half, especially the first quarter, but the first half, when they outplayed the Chiefs drastically. Now, I was bothered because they had outplayed them so badly and they're only up 3-0. And then 10-3. So I was like, at halftime. So that bothered me, but I think you might have had a few doubts with that. Then in the third quarter, when the Chiefs opened the half with the interception, and the Niners had the ball at their 44. And I'm thinking, because 10-3 obviously is nothing to Mahomes, but I'm thinking, if they go up 17-3, again, you still got a lot of time left.
If only Purdy could have come through in those spots.
Well, Purdy, I ain't mad at Purdy.
If only if he could have
I ain't
come
mad
through.
at Brock Purdy.
Oh,
I'm
right.
sorry.
Blame Purdy. See, this is the most frustrating thing about Nick Wright, because he just doesn't give honest analysis. Really, in general, is what I'm learning, but especially when it comes with the Chiefs more than anything. He is incredibly biased, and it's a little tough. He's entertaining, and that's why I like the show. It's fun. It's a little cartoonish, but the analysis, especially when we're talking about a Super Bowl, I want to actually break it down appropriately. And so I'll just interject because I want to see what Brew is finally going to say. He's just taking so long to get to it. But I just want to say that without a doubt, there was a doubt. You're going to tell me that you guys weren't getting nervous in that first half, and then the start of the second half, or when Travis Kelce slams into and screams at Andy Reid, and you see, Rice screaming on the sidelines. They were unraveling. That was ugly. And to me, that's actually one of the bigger tragedies. I don't want to say tragedy. That's too strong of a word. That's one of the bigger drawbacks of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I'm looking at this now not as a fan. I'm looking at this from a life and content creating and being on this show, creating these YouTube videos, and just a global conversation at large, where Travis Kelce, I think what Travis Kelce did was a disgrace. And I don't know if they'll directly address that or how or when, but I truly think that was a disgrace what he did. It wasn't just him being intense and in the moment and being a fiery competitor. It was a disgrace. And because they won, that gets swept under the rug, and they're just not really going to talk about it. Where if they lost, that would have been a big thing. It would have been a big moment. And I just think things like that, it's a shame that people get away with it when they win, honestly. And it's just not really going to be talked about that much. And I think that's a shame, because I think that would have been a perfect moment to really kind of, unpack Andy Reid's brilliance. In that moment, Andy Reid didn't bark back and do anything and get all emotional. You better believe a lot of other coaches would have. Nick Sirianni would have. I'm sure Sean McVay would have. Shanahan would have. But Andy Reid, like the vet, and he's also 65 years old, just took it from this guy who's a monster, who's in peak physical shape, screaming at him and, grabbing into him and pushing him. Like, that was just insane. I mean, seriously, that was just wild from both sides. The positive of Andy Reid and the negative of Travis Kelce. So there's just no way as a Chiefs fan you saw that and you felt good about that. You weren't getting nervous. So this whole idea that there was never a doubt, that's just not true. Nah, it's just not true.
I'm thinking, okay, then you start running, you count the possessions, maybe that's it. And then here.
Oh.
This was the ball game, I think. 3rd and 4.
That's the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, that was it. Because if there was a 2-minute, a 2-minute mark.
That's right.
If they get this first down, they didn't anticipate the blitz, obviously.
Yeah.
But if they did, I think they maybe can chew up the clock and kick the field goal.
Who knocked that ball down?
Oh, McDuffie.
No,
he was fantastic.
Yeah,
So
I
do
Tony
think
Romo
there
told
was
us the
some
blitz
doubt.
was coming.
I know. I wish they
Here
knew.
comes the blitz, Kyle.
All right,
Pay
whether
attention.
that's Kyle or Brock or somebody, I wish they knew. But
Here it comes.
yeah, no, I think there were some doubts, but I got to give you credit, man. The Chiefs, look, Mahomes is just too good. And
Yeah,
the
no
defense,
kidding. We
I
told you
gotta
that
give
last
the
week.
defense credit.
We told you that last
Hey,
week.
I had the courage. Everybody else was just following
No
the leader.
courage.
Everybody
You
was
picked
following
the
it.
favorite
It was
every
close.
time.
No,
That's not courage.
They should have been the underdog.
But then if you felt that way, why'd you pick him?
Because I thought that they might come through, and they almost
Okay.
did.
All right.
And
picked
Brock
against them?
represented. All right.
No,
so
okay. So
I'm
go
all
ahead,
right.
Wilds.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
have one more.
No,
standard
so
to drop.
listen, I just think it was
I'm sure
because
he's
Brew is not incorrect that during the ebb and flow of this particular game, of course there are moments of, oh my God, if they complete this pass, where you feel anxious. That part Brew's not wrong about. But where I think everyone in the world, with a few rare exceptions, was wrong about this Chiefs team was the overwhelming doubt placed at their feet all year when we know they have a coach who is entering the GOAT discussion, and we'll see where he leaves it. A tight end who has exceeded the GOAT discussion and now is 340 yards and 3 touchdowns in the playoffs away from owning all of Jerry Rice's records. He already owns the receptions one. And Patrick Mahomes, who, if we can show you what, as we've done many times, he is already on a per game basis, on an up to this point basis, the playoff GOAT at the very least, not to mention the 2 MVPs.
But no one's doubting those things. No one was ever doubting those things. And the truth is, and this takes nothing away from the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and as a whole, but that game, and this is why I was looking at the bar to see where it was, because I'm going to break this up into 2 videos, and so I'm going to talk about it in the next video, because I see the next thing says why did the Chiefs win, or the biggest reason the Chiefs won is that the doubt of the Chiefs, or not even to say the doubt, just that they think that they weren't going to win, or that it wasn't a guaranteed win, never a doubt, that makes sense. In every single game they played would lead you to believe that. In the playoffs, it made you believe that. And it was the appropriate conclusion, okay? They didn't just dominate the Bills. They didn't just dominate the Ravens, and they didn't just dominate the 49ers. And in fact, you want to prove this? Nick Wright thought that the 49ers had no chance at winning. He said Brock Purdy was going to play terrible and that the Chiefs were going to win by like 10 plus points. That's not what happened at all. The game literally went to overtime and was won in the last like 10 seconds of overtime. And they won by 3 points. Or whatever the heck the final score ended up being. Now I forget, right? 4 points. Or I guess 3 points because they scored the touchdown but then didn't kick the extra point. So this game absolutely could have been won by both teams. By both teams. Both teams had a chance to put this game away. And the Chiefs ended up doing that. And again, kudos to the Chiefs. And what I'm going to talk about in the next clip is that this game, a lot of times, and as you guys may know by now, a lot of games I look at, and I will often kind of break down things by saying, I try to do it in these steps, right? And so that the top is always like, was this game won by this team or lost by the other team? And then depending on that answer, I then break down why and go from there. And so for this was a very interesting game because this was both. This game was both lost by the 49ers and won by the Chiefs. You don't usually see both. A lot of times it's just one or the other. But the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Pacheco, they absolutely won that game. But on the other side, the 49ers also absolutely lost that game. And I'm going to talk about that in the next clip, which I'm about to record right now after I cut this clip off and go to it. So if you're seeing this clip right now posted, the next one's up there as well. So go please watch that one where I actually break down as to why I believe what I just said. But besides that, did you ever doubt the Chiefs? Do you think it was appropriate to ever doubt the Chiefs? Or should you just have blind faith no matter what your eyes tell you? Please let me know in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this one. And please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does make a difference and really helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.